Tonight, a grim milestone as the U.S. reaches the highest number of opioid-related deaths ever recorded.
Plus, a glimmer of hope in Minnesota's fight against COVID as more people get their booster shot.
And local nonprofits are hoping Minnesotans are in the spirit of giving as the big fundraising day approaches.
From CBS3 Duluth, this is the CBS3 News at 6.
Good evening, I'm Kristen Bakke.
And I'm Briggs LaSavage. Thanks for joining us. The U.S. has reached an alarming breaking point with its ongoing opioid crisis. New data released today shows the nation reached the highest number of opioid-related deaths ever recorded in a year.
An increase, law enforcement says, is reflected in state and local data. The U.S. alone topped more than 100,000 opioid-related deaths between April of 2020 to April of this year. According to the CDC, in Minnesota, there has been a nearly 40% increase, nearing 1,200. In Wisconsin, there's been a 20% increase, nearing 1,600.
CBS3's Abigail Smith spoke with local health officials and law enforcement about what may be driving this increase and what it means for our nearby communities.
A worsening opioid epidemic as a pandemic continues has rocked the nation and Northland communities. Lieutenant Jeff Kazel is with the Duluth Police Department. He's also the commander of the Lake Superior Drug and Violent Crimes Task Force. Kazel says there have been 40 opioid-related deaths in the past year across the Northland.
What we're seeing is a large influx of fentanyl in this country and up here in this region also.
He says the main drugs they see leading to fatal overdoses include prescription pain relievers and other illicit narcotics, driven largely by the use of heroin, a popular drug used widely in Superior, causing police officer Bradley Jago to be concerned.
We do see the heroin. Douglas County has always been, in terms of our general region, a larger kind of heroin region than maybe some of the other counties around us. We've been on an island per se.
Jago says fentanyl use is increasing in the Superior area as well. He says one factor driving Wisconsin's statewide increase is easier access to illicit drugs over the years, making the death count soar. Another possible contributing factor, the pandemic.
The pandemic hurt a lot of efforts, and when you have somebody that has an addiction and you combine it with isolation, it's just a bad recipe for disaster for people that are suffering from substance use disorder.
A continuing problem taking lives. But Benjamin Ray, director of Provided Relations with Ideal Option, an addiction recovery organization, says there is still hope.
You can seek a higher level of care by finding out how to get enrolled into a detox, and then from the detox, either going outpatient or to an inpatient facility.
Ray says communities can help by providing more education and give out resource information in their area.
If you or anyone you know is struggling with an opioid disorder, you can find more resources on our website.
Minnesota's governor is overseas on a trade mission, but says he's keeping an eye on the COVID situation here at home. Governor Tim Walz says the state's health leaders were expecting this surge in cases. At the same time, Walz says more people are protecting themselves, adding the state ranks second in the nation for the number of booster shots being administered. There was also a 60% increase in the number of first doses given out over the last week. The governor says the vaccine remains the best way to beat the virus.
So if we want to keep our kids in school, we want to keep our businesses going, and we want to do the most important thing on this, keep our family, our friends, our neighbors healthy. We need to continue to do those smart things.
Walz says they're also working to relieve pressure on hospitals. The Department of Defense will be deploying emergency medical teams to the state in the coming weeks to help address the surge needs.
Meanwhile, Wisconsin health leaders are encouraging people to take COVID safety steps heading into the holiday season. They say the best way to stay healthy is to get vaccinated. They also encourage getting the booster shot if you're eligible. If you won't be fully vaccinated by the holidays, they recommend wearing a mask in public places, getting tested if you have COVID symptoms, and staying home if you feel sick.
2 years ago today, China recorded the world's first known case of COVID-19, but we are no closer to knowing the origin of this deadly virus. Early efforts to discover how it started have come up empty-handed. Now Beijing is stonewalling international investigators, barring any further visits to Wuhan, where experts believe the pandemic emerged. The two main theories continue to be COVID either jumped from animals to people in a local market or escaped from a Chinese lab, which was experimenting with a similar virus. Experts say we may never know the source of COVID-19. However, during a recent U.S. intelligence review, one agency said it's moderately confident the virus was a result of a lab accident. But China dismissed that allegation and accuses Washington of politicizing the pandemic.
Dozens of Superior residents are still trapped in their apartment building, waiting for the elevator to start working again. We first told you about the Lund apartment building's broken elevator last month. It's been under repair since September 7th, leaving many of the seniors and people with disabilities who live there left to take the stairs. And in some cases, that's just not an option. Last month, residents told us the Meridian Group building management team originally said the elevator would be back up and running by October 22nd. But now that date is December 3rd. Today, Meridian Group leaders told us that's because the crew working on the elevator had to quarantine last week due to COVID. The apartment managers also plan to deliver a holiday meal to residents on Saturday.
Let's check in with Dave now for a quick look at the weather. Dave, nice to see that sunshine today.
Yeah, it came out for just a little while in between our little low pressure systems, just this dry slot that separated the two. We'll take a look at the proof, which is in the pudding here. Yeah, one of our weather watchers took a picture of the sun braving the sky this morning, but you can see clouds on the top of the screen threatening to move back in, and that's indeed just what they did. And now out of the clouds, we still have a chance for some very light snow activity. Flurries really tonight as those two lows migrate towards the east. 30% chance at best. Snow totals for most of us, a dusting at best. Though, thanks to the lake, the snow belt might do a little bit better. The latest charts indicate about an inch there. There is a better chance of snow coming our way for Sunday, but I'll hold off on talking about that until after we talk about the short-term forecast. Temperature-wise, with the mostly cloudy sky tonight, we'll have them in the low 20s for most towns. Farther inland in Minnesota, maybe upper teens. Still nothing to write home about. Come Thursday, temperatures will be in the lower 30s, I think, for the highs, which is a little bit undercutting the normal by a few degrees, but still, that's nothing to write in the journal either. 30% flurry chance will stick around through a good portion of the day. Then will dry up but not clear up for Friday and Saturday. That Sunday snow chance, well, frankly, it will be a better one than this one. How much better or worse, depending on your opinion? I'll let you know with the 7-day forecast in a few more minutes.
Thanks, Dave. Nonprofits suffered during the pandemic. So many of them weren't able to hold their usual in-person fundraising events, leaving them without that much-needed cash flow to keep their life-changing services running.
That's why many Northland organizations are putting extra attention on Minnesota's statewide Day of Giving tomorrow, one that typically brings in tens of millions of dollars. CBS3's Quinn Gorham spoke with those from GiveMN, which is the organization behind Give to the Max Day. Quinn, what are they hoping to get out of this year?
Well, Briggs, on Give to the Max Day, Minnesotans are asked to go online and donate to local nonprofits that make a difference in their region. Last year, the fundraising event surpassed $30 million for the first time ever. And ahead of this year's fundraiser, organizers are hoping to continue that success. Give to the Max Day has raised more and more money in each of the last 5 years. In fact, every year has smashed the previous year's record. Jake Bloomberg, executive director of GiveMN, says the nonprofit, which is in its 13th year, has already raised nearly $250,000 ahead of this year's Give to the Max Day, helping 13,000 Minnesota nonprofits this year. On a local level, nonprofits like Second Harvest Food Bank here in the Northland say Give to the Max Day helps kick off the holiday giving season, something they're very much anticipating this year.
That really has impacted. It allows people in our community to have a nice holiday with their friends or their family, but then also it helps support people all year long.
GiveMN's website has a search feature that allows you to look for a list of other nonprofits in your area to donate to. According to Bloomberg, Give to the Max Day has inspired similar donation pushes across the state and country. Coming up at 10, we'll hear more about the unique challenges Second Harvest and other local nonprofits are facing this year amid the ongoing pandemic and supply chain shortages.
CBS3's Quinn Gorham reporting live for us in the newsroom tonight. Thanks, Quinn.
The Aurora community is stepping up to support a local family after a 4-car crash killed a mother and her son. The crash happened Thursday on Highway 135. 32-year-old Betty Smith and 11-year-old Dakota Smith died. 2 other kids in the car were hurt. 1 had life-threatening injuries. Now a GoFundMe has been set up to support them and raise money for funeral costs. We have a link to the GoFundMe on our website. 2 local nonprofits got a huge check today thanks to one of the Northland's fastest growing sports.
Cyclists of Gitchagumi Shores and Harbortown Rotary each got $19,000. That money was raised during the Krause-Anderson Bike Duluth Festival back in August. The annual festival brings hundreds of mountain bikers to navigate Spirit Mountain. The Krause-Anderson Community Foundation hopes this donation will support Duluth's trail system and give back to the community.
The funds that we work to raise can be redistributed 100% back into our community through some of the organizations that we talked about today. Community Service, International, and then our New Generations, which goes into the youth in the schools.
This event has raised more than $275,000 for community partners over the years. The 8th Krause-Anderson Bike Festival will be held next August.
Still to come on Live Local CBS 3, honoring a local artist, one envelope at a time. How his art is living on. Next.
Buying up the Almanac here, we see that the record high is 68 degrees from 1953. 9 below the record low hit us in 1959. Well, we're pretty close to normal today. Likely will be for a couple more days, but there is a cool down coming. Will it be a big Arctic blast or just a little bit of a dip? I'll show you which way the thermometers will fall coming up after our break.
Preparing for a change? Whether you're downsizing to simplify or find yourself with an empty nest, visit yournorthlandhome.com. View comprehensive information that will help you find your new home with JS Realty, with guides such as questions to ask yourself before downsizing. Yournorthlandhome.com has all the information you need to find a place that feels like home. Download your free guide today at yournorthlandhome.com.
When you have a faculty and a group of people in a school that care about me and want me to succeed in life, it really increases your self-confidence, your enthusiasm about school, and that's LSC.
One of our biggest sales of the year, the Thanksgiving sale at Slumberland Furniture. Get huge savings on already low prices, up to 50% off. Plus, see what's new, what's in stock, and save 25% on our great accessories. Give your home that special touch. Plus, totally free shipping. Huge store-wide savings at the Thanksgiving sale at Slumberland Furniture. And for better sleep, come to Slumberland Sleep Solutions and see how easy it is now to shop for a mattress.
Mining. It's a part of Minnesota's history that affects everyone in the Northland still to this day. From environmental issues to economics and so much more. Join me, Kristen Bakke, every Tuesday for Eye on Mining, a fair and unbiased report that answers the tough questions surrounding the world of mining.
Eye on Mining with Kristen Bakke. Tuesdays at 10 only on Live Local CBS 3. Brought to you by Range Regional Airport.
CBS 3 Newsroom, this is Kristen.
The snow may not be falling yet, but we'll bring it to Duluth.
Is encouraging
2:30 in the morning. Winter stubborn wild visits to talk about.
Multiple departments on scene. We'll take you there live now.
Cancer research requires bold and innovative thinking. You may be able to help science uncover the next breakthrough by sharing your patient data and unique experience with researchers. Join Stand Up to Cancer and count me in at standuptocancer.org/countmein.
She can't see us. What foul deal with the devil hath provoked such a power?
She fell down the stairs, and when she woke up, she could talk to ghosts and animals.
I'm not sure where she got the animals thing, but hi.
Pete plays D&D? Heck yeah, Jay and I could play together.
Pete wishes he could play with you.
Translate like you're doing right now.
Okay.
Yes!
A new episode of TV's #1 new comedy.
What do I wear? Wait, nope, can't change, so itchy shirt it is.
Ghosts, Thursday on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
Get your news on the go, the CBS3 mobile app. Now, the CBS3 Duluth WeatherMax forecast with meteorologist Dave Anderson.
Right now, we've got a couple of little low-pressure systems working through our region, but on this date in 1958, a monster storm was raging. It ran November 17th and 18th of 1958, a pretty decent blizzard with gale force winds going over 60 miles per hour on the Great Lakes. It was a huge storm that covered from the Dakotas and our Northland down to Arizona. Even Tucson got 6 inches of snow out of the deal. Up here, we got about 12 to 24 inches. And just like the November 1975 bomb cyclone, there was tragedy on the lakes. On Lake Michigan, the Carl D. Bradley was sunk. 33 lives lost, only 2 survivors. Well, much easier going right now. A little bit of light snow could come across through tomorrow, but nothing major. Maybe a slightly better chance for precip coming our way, snow fans. For Sunday, I'll talk about that one and this short-term one after this look at the current conditions. 31 right now at the airport in Duluth, 64% the humidity, west wind 20 miles per hour, so there is a bit of wave action on the lake indeed. 29.79 inches of mercury is our barometric pressure on the low side, not as low as yesterday though. Temperatures for the moment are in the upper 20s up north. 28, for example, International Falls. Hibbing Chisholm there as well, and I'll bet Buell's not so far off the mark. We have 30 for Evelyn in the Quad Cities in Virginia. Same deal going on in Cloquet and Carlton, 32, Moose Lake, 32 in Two Harbors, and 32 to 35 degrees for our friends in northern Wisconsin. Solon Springs is the cool spot. LaPointe is the warm spot, and Superior, Ashland, and Hayward are in between. Speaking of 33s like Hayward, we have a pair of those in the Upper Peninsula from Ironwood down towards Watersmeet. Low temps tonight, upper teens to lower 20s. Highs tomorrow back into the lower 30s. Now, taking a look at the Doppler map for our region, clouds have filled in, and we're getting some spotty snow showers from said clouds, and that's the gist of what's going to be going on here tonight and through tomorrow. Our twin low-pressure systems, which aren't overly powerful, could keep flurries going and through the evening on Thursday before things do start to dry up, but probably not clear up for Friday and for Saturday. So how much snow? What do flurries mean? Not much at all. Folks in the snow belt may get the best. A trace for just about every town is possible, but if anything's going to add up, it looks like it will be the snow belt, and adding up means a whole ½ inch to 1.2 inches, so not a big deal. The Sunday system and Alberta Clipper coming to call could bring 1 to 3 to the region, so that's a little bit better than what we get tonight. Tonight in Minnesota, we get a mostly cloudy sky with low temps from 19 to 27. Wisconsin, Michigan, low temps go 20 to 24. For tomorrow, Wisconsin and Michigan, highs in the lower 30s, 30% chance for that snow, especially for the South Shore. Few flurries for Minnesota, highs near 30 or so. Extended forecast shows no major warm-ups, though by Saturday maybe we'll dare to hit 38 with a peak of sunshine. Then Sunday is the Alberta Clipper with 1 to 3 inches of snow. After that, Monday on towards Wednesday, cooler, highs in the 20s, lows in the teens.
Bundle up. Thanks, Dave. A Northland artist is being remembered for his artwork with a tribute seen around the country.
George Morrison of Grand Portage was a renowned artist whose work represented Native American culture. And being of Native American descent, Morrison used his roots as his inspiration. He passed away in the year 2000, but now his art will live on and will be featured on a U.S. postage stamp. Thousands of applications were submitted, but the United States Postal Service unanimously picked Morrison. His son, Brian, said he could not be more thrilled about the award.
Well, I'm very happy for him, and I'm happy for the Indian people, for young artists who are aspiring to do their own thing. 5
paintings were chosen to be printed on the stamps, which are expected to be released next spring. Some of Morrison's work can be seen at the Tweed Museum of Art here in Duluth.
Very cool. Well, Kevin joins us now for a look at what's going on in sports on this Wednesday.
It's that time of the year. UMD hockey, full effect, media day. Hear from the Lady Bulldogs after their three-week layoff. Plus, Scott Sandelin spoke. It's North Dakota week. Sports is next.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
CBS3 Live Cams, brought to you by KohlerChef.com, now featuring the Kohler Express Deal online buying solution. KohlerChef.com, a better way to buy.
Always ready, always there. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
We're all just trying to keep things running for those who rely on us. That's why we don't have time to be sick with the flu.
We don't have time for delays.
Ready! We don't have time for spills.
Next. We don't have time for setbacks. Let's be real.
Getting the flu shot
helps you fight the flu.
Get a flu shot for yourself and those around you, too.
Epilepsy can affect anyone with a brain.
It does not discriminate.
If you have a brain,
you can get epilepsy.
But here's something that's just as important to know.
Anyone with a brain can affect epilepsy.
So let's use our brains to do just that.
Let's change the way people think about epilepsy.
To find cures.
Because if all of us can get epilepsy,
all of us can end epilepsy.
We just need to use our brains.
Let's use our brains.
Let's use our brains.
Let's use our brains to end epilepsy.
Heart attacks and strokes happen, even in the midst of COVID-19, and at least one will occur while you're watching this. Heart attacks and strokes are medical emergencies. If you experience symptoms of a heart attack or stroke, do not delay seeking care. Call 911 immediately. Hospitals are prepared and can safely treat you. Visit cdc.gov/coronavirus to learn more.
I remember my son was going to grow up without a father.
I didn't think someone at 23 could be diagnosed with breast cancer.
I was probably the healthiest I had been in my life.
Early detection of a melanoma saved my life.
I survived testicular cancer because of early detection.
I survived cancer not once but twice because of early detection.
During the pandemic, you may have delayed or canceled routine cancer screenings. It's time to get those appointments back on the books. Early detection saves lives.
This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Eric Paulson here from Discover Wisconsin. Join me and the rest of the crew every week on this station for all things Wisconsin. Continue the adventure on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and discoverwisconsin.com. And don't forget to subscribe to the Cabin Podcast, available wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts.
There are a few games that you have to circle on the UMD men's hockey schedule every year, regardless of any other circumstances, and without a doubt, those games are the North Dakota games. Last time they played, this happened.
Here comes Milmock. He's got Biondi with him 2-on-2. Milmock is ready, scores! Luke Milmock and the Bulldogs have won the game. They are going to the NCAA Frozen Four.
That's, of course, last year's 5-overtime thriller in the NCAA tournament. This is a rivalry that dates back nearly 70 years. The 4th-ranked Bulldogs and 6th-ranked Fighting Hawks are both near the top of the NCHC standings to start the season, but Scott Sandelin says they have plenty to clean up after their 5-point weekend against Colorado College.
You know, for me, I thought we've given teams a little too much space, not just in the D zone, but all over the rink. So for us, I mean, we've got to make sure that we're doing a much better job of pressuring pucks and taking away time and space. In all 3 zones, for that matter. Every week, you got to be prepared to play. I don't know if last week we had a great week of practice. This week has been better, so hopefully it pays off this weekend. But We've got to play much better than we did last weekend to win hockey games this weekend.
Sandilan added that both Kyler Clevin and Luke Lohoit will be eligible to come off the injury report for this weekend. Both games will be on the My9 Sports Network. After being 3 weeks away from competitive hockey, the Lady Bulldogs are back on the ice this weekend when they travel to play the Bemidji State Beavers. The last time we saw the Bulldogs, they swept St. Thomas, outscoring the Tommies 10-0 in that series. Now, the Bulldogs come into this matchup 80-22-7 all-time against the Beavers, but the Beavers have given the Dogs all they can handle recently, splitting the series last year 1-1. Plus, the two teams have gone into overtime 3 out of the last 4 matchups.
Really productive 3 weeks for us. I'm sure our players are really excited to be looking at another team this weekend, and I am too. I'm excited to get on the road. Big WCHA points on the line, so we're excited. We got a lot of work done, and can't wait to get going.
Just the Bemidji team in general, they're a feisty team. They're super aggressive, and the goaltenders are always really good. It's hard to get pucks past them, and that's something that we've talked about throughout the years that I've been here.
That was the newest assistant captain, Gabby Hughes. Puck drop from Bemidji State is at 3 p.m. Friday. Team Schuster has yet to lose at this year's Team USA Olympic curling trials down in Omaha, and with their 8th consecutive win this morning, they've clinched a spot in the finals. Their combined score over the first games were 71-31, a dominant performance by the Chisholm Natives group. The best of 3 finals start on Friday and will determine who will represent the United States in Beijing. They could potentially be matched up against Team Dropkin, a team of 2 Duluth residents and 2 Bemidji residents.
Wow.
Team Schuster.
Yeah. Talk about Northland representation there.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's very cool. A lot of eyes will be on that on Friday then.
Definitely.
Yeah, I heard that there was a curling outing one year that
Yeah.
needs to come back.
It was,
I want to get on the sheet.
yeah, I believe folks were raising money for a local nonprofit. Yeah, that was really fun. Cool. Well, thanks, Kevin.
Well, speaking of Chisholm, tonight on the CBS3 News at 10, keeping the recipe and legacy alive. After nearly 70 years, a beloved pizza shop in Chisholm is changing owners. Tonight, we'll share the decades-long journey of the Silvestri family and the pizza and community they created that has kept customers coming back all these years.
I've heard so much about Choppies from Kristen. I have to get up there and try it.
It really is one of those special shops that's been on Main Street forever.
Yeah.
And so it's, you know, you just love to go there.
And how cool to see it changing hands,
yes,
too.
definitely. Well, it's time for Wisconsin deer hunters to load their rifles.
The state's 170th annual firearm deer season starts on Saturday. Tracking down deer might not be too difficult as the population is growing in much of the state. Numbers are especially high in farmland zones. With a relatively mild winter last year, antler growth and fawn numbers should be larger this year, too. The season will go from November 20th to November 28th.
Well, Dave, a lot of hunters have their eye on the weather.
Yeah, all 3 of our states have open seasons here now, and it's really not that bad. We'll take a look at our 7-day forecast, see that temperatures will be fairly close to normal, at least through Sunday, which is the 30s. A little bit cooler starting on Monday. Snow chances, a slight one tomorrow, but a better one comes our way on Sunday with 1 to 3 possible from an Alberta Clipper.
Thanks for joining us.